So now in this video we're going to look at some more basic electronics practice you can do, and this time with the pocket oscilloscope, looking at changing voltages, which is what the oscilloscope is primarily meant to do. So to begin with, we have both of the alligator clips are clipped to jumpers there, and they're both to the negative rail. Doesn't matter where they are, as long as they're in the same spot, they're at the same voltage, and we got 0 volts. With this pocket oscilloscope, there's a little dial you can turn here. If you have it set to that arrow, then you can raise or lower it. So that's 0 volts. We're going to establish this first line right there above the bottom is 0 volts. And now we're going to go to the supply rail right there, and you can see 3 volts. That's because we are powering this with 3 volts right there. And if I change the voltage, you're going to see an instant change on the screen there. So we can go up to 6 right there, the way that we have this, because it is, let's go back to 3, it is 1 square per division. So you can see, or 1 volt, I mean, per division, per square. So we have 1 volt. We can press this button again. Before we were moving that. Now we can switch back and forth there. We have 1 volt. We can change this to, we can go the other way there, 2 volts. And so what that means is for each square we have 2 volts. First we lowered it so it jumped up to show the same voltage, and then we raised it to 2 volts. So now it had to go down. So it's about 1.5 squares there. It's a little off for some reason. But in any case, there you can see we got 3 volts, and we can raise it to 6 volts there. And when we raise it to 6 volts, hopefully you saw that, then now we are up 3 squares, a little bit more. So it's not going to be exact. But in any case, let's go back to 1 square per division and come to our circuit. So we have the LED protected by a resistor, and we just saw that we can measure the voltage change across the 2 of them. So we did this with the multimeter, but we had to look at just numbers changing rapidly on the display. Here you can see an instant jump of the line, which is a lot easier to understand. We got 2 volts right there. So that 2 volts is out of the 6 volts there. And we can lower this to about 3 volts. It's going to drift down a little bit. Kind of hard to see back from where we are. 2 volts, again, it drifted down a little bit, but it's holding pretty steady. There you can see the drops. And if we go to 1 volt, now there's 1 volt across it. That's really steady. That's because it's not conducting anymore. It's holding that voltage. So we got 2. We can go up. Since I'm using a 1000 ohm resistor to protect the LED, we're going to have about 10 milliamps of current going through. As you can see there, this isn't completely accurate. It's usually off a milliamp. But in case, you can see we still got 2 volts across the LED, even though we changed the voltage across the circuit. And the reason why, so we got 1 volt per division right now. Let's change it to 2. So it went down. But the reason why is because the rest of the voltage goes across the resistor, which sets the current. So you'll notice when I went from the supply voltage to the across the resistor, it went down about 1 square, which is 2 volts. That was the voltage drop of the LED. And we'll come back here, and now when I lower 2 volts, it will go down 1 square right there. So now we have 8 volts across the resistor and 8 milliamps of current, of course. And so every time I go down 1 volt, it'll go down half of a square, because each square is 1 volt, as we saw before. So this is one way you can practice using a pocket oscilloscope with slow changing voltages. And for higher changing voltages, faster than you can detect, it basically takes quick pictures of what happened during a brief period of time, and you can look at what happened during that brief period of time over a longer period of time on the display there. So in any case, we're going to keep this video simple. Of course, we used the red LED for this, it has a forward voltage of 2 volts, and it's good to practice with different color LEDs to see their difference. So we're just going to go across the LED, and I know I'm blocking things, but in any case, there we go. We're across the red LED, and we have the 2 volts because we got 1 square per division. If I swap that with the blue LED, then we will have 3 volts because it has a 3 volt forward voltage. So there you can see the 2 for the red, and now we're up to 3. So you can easily see changing voltages on the display here. Much better than a multimeter if you got changing voltages. But of course you have to buy it. These aren't too expensive. I think maybe it's $30 or something. And if you're really going to get into electronics, I highly recommend getting at least this, or you can get a better oscilloscope, paying more money. But in any case, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Always turn your meters off when you're done. And I'm going to unplug this because the thing that I'm plugging it into, I think, has voltage spikes and stuff. And it's a UPS, uninterrupted power supply. But in any case, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out one of the other videos I'm posting on the screen, and check out the links down below. They all help out a lot. I'll see you in the next video.